Hello, everyone. I'm Andy.
I'm Mark. I've been sitting here for 5 minutes.
Because you turned up early after telling me you were going to be late.
Oh, yeah, how can you still be using your mug? That was banned, I thought, until
No,
the decision has come in.
There is the poll only went out yesterday, technically. So
Right.
it's early doors, yeah. But it
All right.
is.
Let me
It is
move
up
my
for
microphone
grabs.
further away so you don't get that puffing sound.
It's not. It's not puffing.
What's it called? Popping?
No, it's called plosives.
Is it really? There's a technical term for it.
Yeah. But talking of puffing, what's the difference between your boyfriend and a fridge? A fridge doesn't fart when you pull your sausage out.
What is it? It's like sort of adult Christmas cracker level of humour.
Oh, sorry, that one's been bugging me for a couple of days.
God, dear.
It's really hard to find a joke for the episode because I think of a great one, but then I forget it. By the time the episode comes around, I'm dry.
That's the worst thing in terms of my memory. I mean, it's not that bad, but I mean, it is getting worse, is being able to recall things that, you really wanted to remember, and then suddenly your mind is completely, just a stupid example. Yesterday.
It can happen in the space of standing up from the sofa.
No. Well, I told you that's exactly what, that's how your brain is organized. It's exactly that. When you do like walk into a room, that's a classic, and you forget what you walked in for. That's not actually necessarily a sign of declining memory. It is that your brain refocuses.
That it's moved on to the next part.
No, it's not actually. It's that your brain refocuses its attention on assessing danger in a new situation, and so it forgets.
Butterflies.
Exactly. Now, I called my daughter twice yesterday. She calls back at some stage later in the day, and I had just completely forgotten why I had called her twice. So, anyway. So, yes.
Funny enough, I called her 3 times myself, but she just didn't return.
She never replied. I'm not surprised. I don't know how Hannah would feel if she suddenly saw that I had tried to call her 4 or 5 times in a day.
She'd probably think that you were bored and you needed a project for your workshop, and did she have a puncture?
I think that's actually the last time I saw Hannah was when I fixed the puncture.
She owes you a dinner for that.
Bloody right she does. What did you discover about your scooter? You haven't done anything, have you?
I tried to take it apart. There's not a decent YouTube on my particular model. There's YouTubes on every bloody model except my one. And I just don't see how I can remove the back wheel. If I can get the back wheel off, it's a simple procedure.
But have you established it actually has a puncture?
Oh, yeah.
And have you found...
I got it upside down in the kitchen, and I put my pump on it. And I gave it some welly, and it was coming straight back out from where about the valve was.
Was it coming from around the valve or through the valve?
It's impossible for me to tell. I tried to ascertain whether it was near the valve or through the valve, but it's just a blast of air. You can't pinpoint it.
All right, I'll tell you what I suspect, and it's a very easy fix. Do the listeners want to listen to this? Well, there's a little stem in the middle of the valve that actually screws into the valve.
Right.
And if that's come loose, the air just shoots straight past it. It might need, but unfortunately, you need a special tool. After the show, I'll show you the tool, and then you'll see what you need.
Okay. Anyway, we'll move on.
Yes. Melania Trump.
No, let's start with Donald, who has decided, fuck opening the Strait of Hormuz.
I know,
let's
we're going
blockade it. I know. The guy is a fucking... He is the most impotent, ridiculous fucking person in the world.
I don't know even quite what he was meaning to say or do. Why would blockading the Straits of Hormuz help anybody?
It's already blockaded.
Yeah, but it's, I mean, like, there are ships
now
moving.
We're going to join forces with Iran and blockade the Strait of Hormuz while we're at war with Iran. What a cunt. I mean, honestly, the people working with him must be going, what have I done? What have I done?
Well, what I thought was funny was J.D. Vance, who was sent off to Pakistan to negotiate a ceasefire or a deal or something. He comes out and makes a speech. They wouldn't agree to our terms. Yeah. Maybe someone should explain to him what negotiation means.
No, he thinks it's surrender.
Yes.
So, okay, here's what we want.
Yeah.
We want all the oil, all the gold, and if you've got any diamonds, we'll have that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can get nothing.
It's just ridiculous. So they instigated the war. Iran has made fools of them. They've failed at every level in terms of what their supposed objectives were. They suddenly realised that the Straits of Hormuz, they're quite important.
I can promise you that Donald Trump had never heard of the Straits of Hormuz before this.
I reckon even today, if you showed him a map of the world, he wouldn't even be able to point out where Iran is.
He couldn't point out the UK. No. I'm not being funny. He couldn't.
No, you're right.
If he didn't have a pilot, he would never have got here. Fuck pilots.
Now Melania Trump.
Okay.
Well, it was just ridiculous.
But she's denying she's ever even met Epstein, basically.
Well, she had, I don't know if you can call it an impromptu press conference, basically saying that she wasn't good friends.
Did she have an interpreter?
It was pretty close to it. She didn't have a close relationship with Epstein. She wasn't really friends with Maxwell.
Or Trump.
Or Trump. You know, there are hundreds of photographs with them all partying together. She signs her emails love Melania when she's emailing Maxwell. And then she says, I think it's important that the victims are heard.
Yeah, the ones that she's been silencing for the last fucking 6 years.
Her husband's been literally silencing for the last 2 years. I mean, what was the administration? Literally 2 days before, Todd Blanche, the new Department of Justice head, was saying there is no Epstein thing. It's all nonsense. It's all finished. It's all in the past. There's nothing more to talk about.
No, he's the only one who thinks that, I'm afraid.
Well,
that's going to come back and bite them in the arse repeatedly.
Yeah. But, you know, it's... I saw quite a funny thing that... who was that poor first... Was it his first wife? Ivana Trump? Or Ivanka?
Yeah, and it was another import anyway. He probably got her from Epstein.
Yes, but when you say import, that's quite interesting because, in fact, all 3 children were born to her before she became a US citizen.
Not all 3 of them, because Barron actually belongs to...
No, Barron's Melania.
No, it's Ivanka. Trump and Ivanka.
What?
Yeah, he had Barron with his daughter. You heard it here.
Oh, dear. That is true.
Work out the ages, work out the timeline, and work out when he last said, I'd fuck her.
Well, what do you mean? No, Ivanka. I can't remember if it's Ivana is the daughter or Ivanka.
Who knows? It's an Iv.
No, she's in her... Oh, I suppose you're right. She would have been in her 20s.
A little bit old for Trump, but he would have suffered it.
You are ridiculous.
Am I? Or am I just a prophet?
You mean... So is the theory that you've never seen a picture of Melania Trump pregnant? Is that the idea?
It's got nothing to do with that. Anyone can stuff a pillow up their jumper. You can fake a pregnancy. God, most women have done it at one stage during their lives. No offense.
Why? What are you talking about? Why
You
would
can't
women
dump
fake
me, I'm
pregnancies? Sometimes, Andy.
Have you never
And
had
what
that?
have I never had that? Are you implying that a girl has pretended they were pregnant? And why on earth? I'll tell you what. If I thought you might be the father of one of my children, I'd be running a mile. I wouldn't be pretending to be pregnant. I'd be leaving the country.
That's a bit
No offence to Hannah, of course, and also who
you know
produced
what
a
I
very
mean?
nice
It's like,
daughter.
you've just dissed my daughter.
They'd be running a mile. Oh my God, it might be Andy's. I've got to leave the country. The shame. The
Can't let anyone
shame.
know. What if my mum finds out? She's been dating him too.
So, so that was, ridiculous, bizarre, I think is the word to put it, that Melania Trump thing. I don't know what else
they're
has
running
happened.
out of distractions.
Yes,
To be
he
honest,
is actually.
if they really want to distract from the Iran war, they might as well just release the Epstein files.
Yeah. Yes. But something I was reading, I think Congress has agreed that he does need to take a cognitive test. Is this Article 25 when you think the
You know what?
president
He's
is
so
nuts?
proud. He's so proud because he takes his cognitive tests quite regularly, but he believes they're IQ tests. And he comes out boasting about how well he did
I know.
every 6 weeks.
I nailed it.
Nobody's as intelligent as me as the
I
president.
know. I was able to tell it was an elephant, a giraffe, and a hippopotamus.
I know that you can't put a square hole in a round box.
Well, the funny thing was, I know that test actually because I was there when Dad did it. It's not a cognitive test at all. It's a dementia test, actually.
Well,
That's
he
what
can't.
that test
He can't
is
be
for.
passing dementia tests. He can't even speak.
I know. Oh dear. Anyway, so that's all going on. The ridiculous. I wonder what oil prices are going to do with America blockading now as well.
I mean, this is great for the oil companies. They'll just put it up again.
Yeah.
Just put it up. Keep putting it up. Trump is the scapegoat here. They'll just keep putting it up until people just go back to buying electric cars because it's cheaper.
Yeah. So yes, there must be something light-hearted going on, surely. Don't you normally look at the Sun? What's the front page of the Sun today?
I haven't actually. I should do so now.
That must be one of your favourites, the front page of the Sun.
It's kind of funny. Oh, not today. Some poor girl was savaged to death by the family dog, while her father, who looks like he's been bitten in the ear, says how he can't believe that his loving family lurcher attacked them.
I don't know what a lurcher is.
I didn't think they were very dangerous dogs.
Oh. A lurcher. That sounds like a hunting dog.
Yeah. I think it's one of those with quite large dogs with a beard.
Yes, you're into animals. You should know these things.
I'm not a big dog man.
So this poor girl, how old was she? Was she a young child?
No, she was a teenager from the looks of the photo.
Terrible. God, dear.
The UK has refused to help blockade the blockaded Strait of Hormuz.
What possible sense? What does he need help for? To blockade the blockade?
No, listen, because every time he makes a decision unilaterally, he demands NATO fucking joins him.
I thought he'd won the war.
No, that was the other war. This is Iran War 2 now.
Oh, I see. We're on part 2, are we?
Of course he won the first one in an hour. But then they fucking rebelled.
The only exciting thing, I'll tell you, I mean, the listeners know I live on an island, but the most exciting thing that's happened this weekend, which is what I was phoning my daughter to say, was that we've got a pretty big, it's not a lake, but it's a very big pond. And at this time of the year, it comes alive with frogs.
Oh yeah,
People travel.
Frog Day. Yeah.
People travel from all the area coming to see the frog pond.
Yeah, because it's just like a carpet of frogs making their way to spawn.
It is, yes, it is. So that's quite exciting.
No, I've done it. I've been there.
With Hannah, I hope. Or did you go by yourself to
No,
see
just
the
me.
little... Because, of course, now I've got a grandson. That's the sort of thing that would amaze him. He loves looking at the wildlife in the back garden, so we wanted to take him to see the froggies. It's bloody noisy. That's all I can say.
Did he try to eat them?
No, he didn't. No, I'm saying I didn't actually manage to convey that message because I forgot what I was calling for.
Oh, that's what you were after.
Yes, exactly.
Oh.
Oh, dear. So, no, apart from that, my cold has come back, which is extremely annoying. Cold, cold as in blocked nose. You can't tell.
Well, I don't really listen to you, to be honest.
No, exactly.
It sort of goes in one ear and out the other.
And what was Arabella saying about me? She doesn't care about me either, she was saying.
I don't know. She's off on
Nothing
one at
to
the
do
moment.
with you.
I don't know. I think she was. Last I heard, she was going to try and get me drunk.
When was the last time you had a drink?
January the 12th, I think, when Hannah was here.
All right. And do you actually feel any different? I mean, can you?
I can't say best thing I've ever done is stop drinking. It doesn't make it damn. I didn't drink enough for it to affect me negatively.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're
I
right.
should change that.
Get some alcohol inside you.
Yeah, I've got to. Oh God, I was supposed to go and meet that person in Quilefte on Wednesday. I need my scooter because from the bus station, she's a 15-minute scooter ride.
All right. It sounds very much Valve-like to me.
Would like snipe nose pliers fix it?
After we've done the podcast, I'll go and get the tool and show you what you need to do.
Talking of the podcast.
Yes. We are on the podcast, you realise?
We are. Should we actually start the podcast?
What do you mean, the subject matter for the day?
Yes. And today, you're going to be quite pleased.
Aztecs. Masonry.
It is masonry. If you can imagine standing in front of a wall where every stone fits so tightly that even after centuries or millennia, no mortar has crumbled, no gaps have formed, and no shifting has broken the structure apart.
This is exactly what I want to be. I've been waiting 4 years. This better be a good one, I'll tell you what.
Now imagine that wall was built without any steel tools, without modern machinery, and without any written engineering manuals. Across the world, from Egypt to Peru to the Mediterranean and beyond, we find structures like these. And in this expanded exploration, we'll go deeper into some specific examples of precision masonry, and then we'll address one of the most persistent and controversial questions surrounding them.
Yes, were they made by aliens?
Did ancient humans accomplish this alone? Or is there any credible evidence of extraterrestrial involvement?
What, other than pictures of extraterrestrials on the side of the buildings? No evidence at all.
Let's return first to Egypt. This time,
hang on, Egypt or Turkey? What's the one? Gobekli Tepe?
Can we just go where I take us?
No.
Inside the Great Pyramid of Giza, particularly in the
I'm
King's
not listening to any
Chamber.
pyramid stories because you conned me last time.
This is
Just
the
hop
genuine
over
real.
the pyramid
This
story.
is the Great Pyramid of Giza. It's factual. Inside the Great Pyramid, particularly in the King's Chamber, we find massive granite blocks, some weighing up to 80 tons, cut with a flatness and alignment that still impresses modern engineers today. The joints between blocks can be incredibly tight, sometimes within hundredths of a millimeter. Elsewhere in Egypt, at sites like the Serapeum of Saqqara, enormous granite sarcophagi were
Thank you.
carved with smooth internal and external surfaces, sharp internal corners, and highly consistent geometry. And these boxes weigh tens of tons, but were carved from single pieces of stone. The point here is not just that the Egyptians could shape stone, but that they could do so repeatedly, at scale, and with consistency. Now, their methods, while labour-intensive, are increasingly well supported by experimental archaeology. Replication studies have shown that granite can indeed be shaped using dolerite pounding stones and cut using copper saws with sand abrasives. It's slow, sometimes taking days or weeks for a single cut, but it is achievable. And the Egyptian example shows us the power of organized labor and process refinement over long periods of time. Now, I have to wonder who first decided to try a copper saw with sand, and after 2 hours thought, I'll just give this another day. It's not getting very far, but I'll give it a day.
Well, it is interesting. Firstly, they had Pythagoras in those days, so they could work out what a right angle was. And all you need for a straight line is a piece of string. Literally, that's how when I build, that's all I need is a piece of string to get a straight line. Vertical, a little bit difficult, but a plumb line actually works. And so, the thing is that
just
they
out
were
of interest, how long is your piece of string?
Quite long, actually. So that I completely understand, but it's the precision nature of the cuts, as you say. I reckon a copper saw, even with sand, if it was sandstone, and the pyramids I can completely sort of almost get a handle on. I mean, if you've got 100 blokes or 1,000 blokes or 10,000, I say blokes, whatever, soaring away, it's feasible, it's doable, it's not impossible.
It sounds like a lot of work.
Well, it was, but what else did they have to do?
Well, let's take a closer look at Sacsayhuaman in Peru. And this site features enormous polygonal stones, some of which weigh over 100 tons. And
is this my one? Is this my one that I keep on about?
This is in Peru. And these ones are stacked into zigzagging defensive walls.
Yeah.
And each stone has multiple faces, carefully shaped to match the stones around it.
Yeah.
And what makes Sacsayhuaman particularly impressive is not just the tight fit, but the complexity of the shapes.
Yes.
Some stones have a dozen or more angles, all precisely aligned with neighbouring blocks. In addition, the walls are slightly inclined inwards, increasing stability. The stones are also subtly beveled, helping them resist seismic forces. At Machu Picchu, we see a more refined version of this technique. The stones are smaller, more regular, and often finished with a smoother surface. Doorways and windows are trapezoidal, a design choice that improves resistance to earthquakes. And these aren't random features. They reflect a deep understanding of both material properties and environmental challenges.
What was the stone? That's what's amazing. This isn't sandstone they use. I'm not saying granite. It's granite. It is granite.
Yeah.
Well, the difference between shaping granite and sandstone is just enormous.
Yeah, sandstone you could do with a nail file.
But granite, you can't do that with a copper saw.
Yes. Yes, copper saw with sand as an abrasive.
Even to cut through granite.
Yes, as I said, it takes days and even weeks to make a single cut, but that's how they reckon it's been done. So returning to Pumapunku, the details become even more striking.
You can't return to somewhere where we've never been. That's the first mention of Pumapunku.
In my head, I've lived there. Here we find andesite blocks carved into highly regular shapes, including what are often called H blocks. Now, the most famous H block was Prisoner Cell Block H. One of the best Australian TV series ever made. It was on late at night, and it was a woman's prison in Australia.
This is one of your minority interest type channels. What?
It was on Channel 4, I think, in the early days. It was hilarious anyway. But these stones have precise right angles, flat surfaces, and repeating dimensions that suggest some level of standardization. There are also drilled holes and carved channels that appear remarkably consistent. And this has led some observers to argue that the stones must have been produced using advanced tools, perhaps even machinery. However, studies of tool marks suggest that these features can be explained through careful use of hammerstones and abrasives, along with measuring tools and templates. The repetition may not indicate mass production in the modern sense, but rather the use of standardized design principles. Still, Pumapunku remains one of the most technically impressive and debated sites in the ancient world.
I wonder if they can tell how long it took to make the building.
They have actually run studies which involve replicating some of the building techniques, so they've probably got a good idea. Bear in mind, labour was free in those days.
Well, you say that.
All right, you had to feed them, but there was no wage structure. So if we expand a little bit further geographically and we go to Lebanon, at Baalbek, you can find some of the largest stone blocks ever used in construction. The so-called trilithon stones each weigh around 800 tons. And nearby quarry stones may exceed 1,000 tons. These blocks were cut, transported and placed with remarkable precision.
1,000 tons? How the hell do you move 1,000-ton stone?
Without an anti-gravity beam from a spaceship, I have no idea. I'm not sure we could do that today.
1,000 tons?
Yeah. I'm not sure that we could lift 1,000-ton rock with normal machinery that we see in construction today.
I just want to add that this Pumapunku, whatever that it's called,
Puma,
that was in the 6th century.
Right.
And this is relevant to a point that I'm going to make later.
Oh, God. But write it down, otherwise you know what's going to happen.
So, all right, so hang on a second. What was going on in the 600s? Christ is long gone. You've had the Roman Empire. It's
Still
at the
going.
end of the Roman Empire. So hang on a second, that isn't so impressive, because the Romans were building the Colosseum, for Christ's sake.
Well, not with stones of that size.
Admittedly, not 1,000-ton stones, but nevertheless, there were some pretty impressive buildings around the 6th century.
Well, let's move to the Far East.
What's the Far East? That's Asia and such like.
In Japan,
Yes.
at sites like the megalithic stone walls of ancient castles, we see another form of polygonal masonry, although much later in time. These stones are fitted together in irregular shapes, similar in concept to Andean techniques. And on the island of Malta,
I've been there.
yes, we know. Prehistoric temples, such as Gantia, feature massive limestone blocks arranged with surprising accuracy for their age, because they date back to around 3600 BC.
Now we're getting interesting. So this is 3,500 years before Christ.
5,000 years ago, basically.
And they were building, what does the building look? It's not like just...
Temples.
They were literally temples.
Yeah. Now, across these examples...
The only reason I'm interested in the timeline is this Pumpicumpi, whatever you were calling it, that was 6th century. There's no frigging way that aliens helped build it.
Why?
Because the 6th century, we've got all sorts of documentation from those days. There's all sorts of historical events and
of
references.
Aliens now.
No, but I'm saying, yeah, but you're talking about some scratchy photograph of an alien. We're talking about aliens actually helping building something, and it wouldn't have happened with the 6th century unless it was written down somewhere. But
we did an episode a couple of weeks ago with aliens building an underground base.
Yes, but oh my God.
Facts, mate.
But do you see what I mean? 3,500 years ago, not only is the engineering side more unbelievable, but you could believe that aliens were involved.
Mm.
Do you see what I mean?
Well, I mean, I still believe. I've seen the X-Files.
Yeah, but you were too focused on Gillian Anderson. You never saw past her. I bet you can't even name the male star in that series.
Mulder.
No.
David Duchovny.
Actually, you're right. It was David Duchovny, yeah.
So
Californication, one of his best series ever.
That was quite good. Although his daughter was a bit of a munter. Across these examples...
What? This is why you eliminate 50% of the potential audience of this movie.
No, I found her annoying. The character was just... She grated on me. Talking of characters grating, there's a new series out on Netflix called Big Mistakes. The biggest mistake would be to watch it.
It's that bad, is it?
Fuck me. It's got that guy from Schitt's Creek, the gay son.
Yes.
He plays the same character, basically, except this time he's a pastor. And it's allegedly a comedy. It is the most unfunny piece of shit I have ever seen. I tried twice to get through the first episode, and twice I had to give up.
I tell you, that's
awful.
That's a coincidence, because I tried to watch a movie for the second time yesterday, and I got no more than 20 minutes. You know that Blake Lively one?
That means
Blake Lively made a movie with this fellow Baldoni or whatever his name is.
You're naming names. Give me the film. Or the plot.
I can't even remember the name of the film. Anyway, it's the one she went to court with. There was this big hoo-ha.
You're not helping. What's it about?
I don't know, because I only got 20 minutes in and it was so boring, I just had to turn it off. It's about she's together with, apparently, because I've read the description, she's together with a slightly abusive surgeon boyfriend, and then she meets some waiter who was her first love or something, and it's the choice apparently that she makes between the waiter or the surgeon who's a bit abusive.
We've sent me to sleep already.
Exactly. But isn't it amazing how a film with such a budget, I mean, I've tried twice now to watch it. No interest.
Anyway, back to our little subjecto.
So, where are we now? 3,500 years ago?
Well, we were talking about the sandstone from 3,500 years ago, or 3,500 BC.
Yeah.
So across these examples, we see a recurring theme. Different cultures, separated by vast distances and time periods, arriving at fairly similar solutions to the challenge of building durable structures from stone. So now we turn to the question that often arises when people encounter these sites for the first time.
Hang on. No, we haven't got that far yet.
What do you mean?
So are you saying that is the sum total of examples of these places?
That's the sum total of the ones that I've included for this podcast. I'm not going to go and do every ancient monument around the world.
But for God's sake, I'm reading it here because I had to check how you pronounce it. Gobekli Tepe. How can you not mention bloody Gobekli Tepe?
Firstly, I couldn't say that without taking my teeth out.
What you're talking about is bloody lightweight stuff. That's the rank amateurs. This was wait for this. This was 9,500 years before Christ.
Okay, so tell me about it.
Well, it's in Turkey and it's a temple.
It sounds like a Blake Lively movie so far.
No, I mean, it is absolutely unbelievable. It's very famous.
No, I'd never heard of it.
Well, no, but that
Probably
doesn't mean anything.
The Catholic Church.
It was inhabited around 9,500 years before Christ during the pre-pottery Neolithic time. So pre-pottery, that obviously means they didn't have copper saws. So how did they make the pillars?
Well, this is where we're going now. Could extraterrestrials have been involved? And this idea...
I think it is.
This idea has gained popularity in modern media, often framed around the notion that ancient humans simply lack the capability to produce such precise and massive constructions on their own. And the arguments typically rests on a few key points. First, the perceived difficulty of the work. Moving and shaping multi-ton stones with simple tools seems, at first glance, beyond human capability. Secondly, the precision observed in some structures, which can appear comparable to modern machining. And thirdly, the presence of similar construction techniques in different parts of the world, which some interpret as evidence of a shared external influence. However, when you examine these claims more closely, the need for extraterrestrial explanations becomes less compelling.
9,500 years ago, building a temple.
Well, let's address the first point, difficulty. Yes, these structures were difficult to build, but difficulty doesn't imply impossibility. Environmental archaeology has repeatedly demonstrated that small teams using ancient techniques can replicate many of these processes. Scaling up requires more labour and time, but ancient societies often had both. Large construction projects weren't unusual. They were central to political, religious, and social systems. And the second point, precision. While some joints are extremely tight, they are not uniformly perfect. Variations exist, and tool marks are often visible under close inspection. And the precision we observe is often the result of iterative processes, gradual refinement, rather than single pass perfection. It's also important to remember that human perception can exaggerate precision, especially when viewing large structures. So what seems like a perfectly straight line when it's 100 meters long, if you take a closer look at a 1 meter section of it, it might not be quite as straight as you first thought.
So hang on a second. Am I getting the impression that the one subject that I've been waiting for 4 years that is so obviously dependent on some external influence, you're poo-pooing?
I'm playing devil's advocate.
You're just poo-pooing, and the most fantastical bollocks that you've come up with is definitely alien-inspired, even though it doesn't actually exist, like bloody towers under the pyramids.
There's still open for debate, that one. Now,
I can't believe it.
Our third point, the global similarities. While there are parallels between different traditions, there are also very clear differences. Egyptian masonry is largely rectangular and horizontal. Andean masonry is polygonal and interlocking, whereas Mediterranean masonry evolves towards modular uniformity. These are not identical systems. They are distinct solutions shaped by local conditions, materials, and cultural preferences.
Yeah, but it was just different alien groups visiting at different times in history.
That's absolutely possible.
Yes, thank you.
But most importantly, there's no direct evidence of extraterrestrial involvement.
Well, other than the fact that bloody buildings exist and they're 9,500 years old.
Yeah, but there's no tools left behind, no laser drills, no materials, no inspections, really. No
maybe the alien
remains,
visitors.
No physical remains. I mean, there must have been workplace accidents. There must have been people who died during the construction of these buildings.
It was just the aliens were very
the aliens.
No, the aliens were very environmentally conscious, and they took all their crap back home with them when they'd finished their work.
Well, there's nothing that's been found that can be conclusively linked to non-human builders.
Yes, but you never look for conclusive evidence. The slight wisp of a bloody theory is all you ever need.
That's not true. I'm known as Deep Dive Andy.
You're not going to come to a conclusion at the end of this podcast that, in fact, it was all easy to explain and nothing to do with aliens, are you?
In science and archaeology, my friend, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. And so far, that evidence just doesn't exist.
No, that's the thing. It's like a detective trying to work out who did the murder. All it needs is one tiny little speck of evidence that takes them in a completely different direction. He doesn't actually need to have the bloody murder recorded on videotape,
we do have a speck of evidence, but the evidence...
Yes, that they exist.
The evidence is of human ingenuity. We have quarries showing how the stones were extracted. We have unfinished blocks that reveal intermediate stages of how they've been worked. We have tool marks that match known materials and techniques. We also have written records in some cultures describing aspects of construction. Taken together, these form quite a consistent and compelling picture. Ancient humans were capable of far more than we often assume. The idea of extraterrestrial involvement can be appealing because it offers a simple explanation for something that feels extraordinary. But the real story, the human story, is more complex and arguably more impressive. It's a story.
This is outrageous. I think I'm going to stop listening. Of all the bollocks that you've come out with over the last 4 years, you choose my story to poo-poo it as obviously not evidence of aliens. It's just ridiculous. I think I'm going to have to take over the production of this podcast. For God's sake.
I'm killing myself here.
Honestly, it's typical. You know, you go onto the internet looking for evidence to support something you've already decided upon. What did you ask your AI mate? How can we prove Mark wrong? Is that what the object of the exercise was?
I typed in, how can we prove? And it was the first thing that came up.
Mark's talking nonsense.
Yeah. But it is a story of trial and error, of knowledge passed down through generations, and of communities organising massive efforts over long periods of time. It's a story of people learning to read stone, to understand its fractures and strengths, and to shape it not quickly, but precisely. So in the end, these structures stand as a testament not to unknown visitors from beyond our world, but to the capabilities of the people who built them. They remind us that technological sophistication is not just about tools, it's about understanding, persistence, and skill. And perhaps the most important takeaway is this. When we look at the past, we should be careful not to underestimate it, because in doing so, we risk overlooking just how remarkable human achievement has always been. And that brings us to the end of your explanation episode of your precision cut stones.
Well, this is... Talk about being shortchanged. You ramble on for an hour and a half about some complete fabrication, and I get 47 minutes worth.
Well, unfortunately, with no evidence of aliens being involved, there wasn't much to talk about. But I mean,
other than the fact there were bloody temples built 9,500 years before Christ.
I think I did a fairly comprehensive job.
You didn't even mention it. It was me that came up with that one.
As I said, I can't do every structure on the planet.
Yeah, but that was the biggest known one in the world.
I disagree. I think the pyramids is always going to win that one.
Did you do the research of this episode while there was a break in one of these Netflix programs you were recommending not to watch?
I can neither confirm nor deny such an accusation.
That's what I suspect. There was a 5-minute tea break in that program with whatever that fellow who you just mentioned, whatever his name was.
I find that quite insulting. I mean, I work quite hard on our podcast. But, you know, you can't put lipstick on a pig. There wasn't a way of making a two-parter out of this without...
So are you serious that the general consensus is that none of these buildings were built with the use of some... They can explain everything.
This is the current scientific thinking. But you know that I'm not a great scientific believer. Scientists are just mad inventors who get lucky sometimes. I mean, science has given us some wonderful things, as you know.
Yeah, but you don't believe in any of it.
No.
Last week you were telling me that Artemis didn't actually take off. It was all done in a Hollywood studio.
I didn't say that. I said it took off. And then they landed, they dumped in the sea. And the rest of it was done in a Hollywood basement, quite rightly. What did they achieve, honestly, except for wasting billions more of tax dollars, trillions probably? I mean, it's amazing how this all comes around during Trump's presidency, when he's already drained the American economy of trillions upon trillions for his fake wars. He's also got the space program running at full speed. It's the biggest money maker out of all, because with the space program particularly, you can write off as many billions as you want and you don't have to show any evidence. You just say, yep, we did it. And people would go, yay.
I have to say, even me, I thought it a bit thin. Excuse me. That the only excuse me, the only aspect of the whole trip that they were able to boast about was the fact that they had gone further than any man has gone before from Earth. I mean, they
could have gone on. I mean, if they just forget going around the moon, if you want to impress me, keep going. Go straight. Let's see what, I mean, that would make a much better program.
There will be
won't.
A time when they just decide, oh, to hell with it. We got nothing to live for on the Earth. Let's just volunteer to go on the one-way trip to nowhere.
Absolute bollocks.
You would volunteer for that.
I would. As long as
you can do your little podcast.
As long as the life support system wasn't going to give out after like 6 minutes. If you could guarantee me a good few years out in space, I'd quite happily go.
Now, here's a question for you. If you did go to space and you were only able to take one cat with you, would it be Ronnie or Reggie?
I wouldn't take any of them. Imagine if I wanted to do
without your cats.
Walk.
You wouldn't survive without your cats.
Well, of course I would. But imagine if I find a paradise planet, right, and I land, and it's just populated by hot chicks.
I was just going to say, what would be your paradise planet?
Well, I mean, a paradise planet is what you call like an Earth. That's one that can support life.
But just full of hot chicks?
Yeah. For some fucking natural reason, only hot chicks.
Well, it would be pretty unnatural, actually, wouldn't it?
I wouldn't have time for a cat, would I?
Well, you'd be too busy procreating with all those hot chicks. What if there were some male children that were born? That would be competition for you.
No, the reason they're hot chicks only is not because they reproduce in a normal manner, but because they come from eggs that are laid by the ladies. In my paradise planet. But anyway, that's for another episode.
Well, I can't express my disappointment enough.
Well,
at the level of dismissal.
I did my best. I mean, you've been asking for this for 4 years, and it's taken 4 years to get the level of research to produce this particular episode.
Yes. Well, obviously, it's much appreciated that you managed to squeeze 40 minutes of actual talk time on a subject I've been waiting 4 years for. And it turns out to be the only subject that you just dismiss as nothing to do with aliens, nothing to see here.
What are you doing?
What is he doing, that cat?
I think he's attacking the TV. Reggie,
That's a bit dangerous. Has he knocked the TV over before, that cat?
No, but he does. Sometimes his head pops over the top of it.
No.
Yeah.
From behind?
Yeah.
He's going to do it. He's going to do it now.
No, he does go behind there. He's quite happy behind the telly. They go everywhere, honestly.
All right.
That's their job.
All right.
Anyway, yeah, it brings us to the end of this episode.
Thank you. What day is this coming out now?
Wednesday.
All right.
Don't forget the poll is open on the mug.
Yeah.
If I get to keep it or not, you can vote at strangestuffpodcast@gmail.com or leave a comment on our Facebook or Instagram or TikTok.
Yep.
I will see it In the meantime, have yourselves a strange week. Keep believing in extraterrestrials, even if they didn't help build the temples, because they do exist and they will be showing themselves very soon.
Yeah, from the hole at the top of the earth, no doubt.
I wouldn't be surprised if Donald Trump isn't one of them.
Yes, he at least looks like one.
Yeah.
He does look a bit reptilian.
Which is a bit insulting to extraterrestrials, but we'll live with it. Anyway, we'll see you again on Sunday. Have fun and bye for now.
Cheerio.